Good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining. My name is Lavenda Shedrick Williams. I'm with Candy Publishing, publisher of The Other Woman magazine. And I want to thank you all for joining us this evening as we invite Dr. Denise Mcclain Dukes, who is the founder and holistic health practitioner for Center of Love, Life, and Peace Church. Dr. Denise has several degrees. You cannot read this, but I'm going to read just a little bit of her certifications and her background before I bring her on. As a holistic health practitioner, as I mentioned, she's the founder and holistic health practitioner for Center of Love, Light, and Peace Church Incorporated, and president and founder of Southeast Artist Collaboration Incorporated. Dr. Denise Dukes, or Dr. Denise, as her clients fondly refer to her, is a native Alabamian who holds several certifications in holistic healing and life coaching, a Bachelor of Science degree in speech communication and theater from Tennessee State University, graduate degree studies in education from Clark Atlanta University, a doctorate of philosophy and fitness science from Charter University, and currently is working on another master's and doctorate degree at the University of Sedona. She was noted as one of the youngest major network show producers and directors and host of an early morning fitness TV show when she was only 19 years of age on Viacom Cablevision in Nashville, Tennessee, titled Aerobic Heartbeat, while simultaneously working on her bachelor's degree in speech communication and theater at Tennessee State University. Now, I could go on and on and on. As much as this woman has accomplished, she should be about 80 years old. But Denise is in her golden years and looking just as beautiful. I'm going to bring her on now. Hey, Denise. Dr. Denise, let me correct myself, Dr. Denise.
It doesn't matter. They call me everything. Denise, Dr. Dukes. I'll answer anything. You can call me Deborah. And I will still answer.
And you'll still answer. It's like your mother will call you all your siblings' names and say, you know who I'm talking about.
Exactly.
So I want our viewers to know that we went to high school together.
We did.
We are proud of our age. We graduated in 1981.
Woo!
Yes.
Wolverine 81.
But the funny thing about it, Denise, is why everyone was probably trying to figure out their life and go on to college or the military. After graduating, you moved to Los Angeles, California?
Yes, I did.
And you instantly became a featured dancer on the legendary dance show Soul Train, right?
I did.
And you also were an aerobics instructor with Jack LaLanne.
Yes, phenomenal.
Gosh.
Yeah, him and his wife were phenomenal. They were just in there. I think I met them when they were in their 70s. And but they were, when I say bodies built to the hilt, they were so healthy and so vibrant. So I really learned a lot working with them about juicing and about, making smoothies, but the importance of juicing and getting all those nutrients.
So you actually met Jack LaLanne. I remember watching him. For the younger viewers who might be watching, share who Jack LaLanne was.
Oh my God. Jack LaLanne was he was the official first bodybuilder that really came out. He won so many national and world championships in bodybuilding. And in fact, they named the juicer out for him. If you go to Walmart or some of these other brands or go to Amazon, look on Jack LaLanne juicer. He was very infamous for that. But not only that, he was really into building muscle and building the body and the tone and things like that. He and his wife. And they both lived to be in their 90s. I think Jack LaLanne died when he was 93 and his wife passed when she was 95. And so women kind of outlive the men for some reason.
Right.
But even at like 80, I think 86, if I may not have the statistics exactly right, but he actually pulled, I think it was like 16 or 20 towboats with nothing but his shoulders across the Atlantic Ocean. You know,
Wow.
I mean, he no motor, nothing, just him. And but there are some other great phenomenons that he did, but it just shows you the human power
Right.
that our
Right.
bodies have, you know.
Right. So was he an inspiration? What really got you into holistic health, nutrition, and just taking care of your body? What was the initial thing?
The initial thing was when I met, well, when I moved to LA, I met Dr. Sadie when I was working on Soul Train, and I was also a model for Elite Modeling Agency, and then I was also working as an actress and doing some other things with Fame and Rocky Four. But I met the infamous Dr. Sadie, and when I learned so much from him about the alkaline lifestyle, especially pertaining to the bioelectric chemistry of the African American bodies, and how we are more carbon based and we need more foods that are more carbon based
Mhm.
in our bodies, and more oxygen. And pH is just equivalent to the oxygen level. So when you talk about alkaline, you're talking about the oxygen, levels in the body. And so that's very important. But he kind of introduced me to that. And then I went vegan while I was there, because that was the thing back then. But I mean, it really wasn't the thing, but it was in LA. There was 20 years there, they're like 20 years ahead of us, or 30 years ahead
Right.
of us on things. So
Right.
I actually lived that lifestyle, and just being in the sunshine and being around everything. And then my mother, she had already battled breast cancer and had a double mastectomy. But when I was out there in LA, I learned that my father called me and said my mother was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer.
Mhm.
So I immediately left everything in LA. I just dropped it, and I came home to be with her, and I assisted her, and I watched her go through the journey of chemotherapy, radiation, trial, different trial chemotherapy treatments, or different treatments that they were trying. Um, and I just watched her just go from this vibrant, beautiful, brilliant woman to someone that was so dependent on her family. And she was so humble, but she couldn't go to the bathroom by herself, she couldn't change her clothes, she was so weak, she didn't want to eat, lost all of her hair, all the symptoms of chemotherapy that happens to the body. And I was with her on the day that she died in the hospital UAB. I told my father, go home, get some rest, let me stay here with her. So I crashed on the little bed in the room, and I had kind of already had a vision. God had already revealed to me how it may happen. And
Mhm.
so when it did happen, I didn't panic, because I had already seen it in a vision. But God showed me a lot of blood, was around her, and sure enough, she was throwing up blood clots. And
Wow.
I just called in the nurse and, like, you guys do something. And so they tried to resuscitate her, but unfortunately they were not able to. She stayed on the ventilator, the machine for life support for about 4 days or so. And
Mhm.
they told us there was no brain activity whatsoever. And they wanted to get our permission to pull the plug. So
Mhm.
my father and I made that decision, rather than have her just lay there lifeless, and have a machine breathing for her. But so that was my first experience. My second was just watching my father deal with diabetes. He
Mhm.
dealt with that for a long time. My mother used to give him, back then you had to get the insulin shots in the thigh. And so after my mother passed, I was kind of taken over from that, because I would give him the shots, and I was there for him for that. And one time I remember going into his office, real estate. He had retired from the post office, and had a real estate office, and I was working with him in real estate. And I went into the office, and he was going into a diabetic coma. And I woke him up just in time, and I got him some orange juice. Had a little refrigerator in there. I gave him some orange juice and some peppermint, and kind of brought him back to himself. But unfortunately, he had lost 30% of his eyesight in his left eye, because his right eye was already damaged from the military. But so, and then he passed away from diabetes complications, pneumonia, because your immune system is very compromised. So if you get any type of infection, it's very, very hard to get over it. So just watching my parents deal with that, and the different diseases that the body has, I said I would never want anyone to have to suffer like that around me, myself or my kids or anyone that I come in contact with, if I can help it. So I went on this journey to just learn.
So an important thing is prevention. Why wait until you're diagnosed with something when you can prevent it? So that's why I wanted you to come on with your background, and now I'm finding out you have several reasons why health is important to you. So as we age, especially for women, as we age, we notice that our body pretty much transforms. Some things change. Gravity takes its toll. The skin begins to dry out. We talked about vaginal dryness and all types of things. But there are ways and things that we can consume or drink that can help. Aging is inevitable. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
That's why I call it aging gracefully, where you can prolong some of those things. You can have soft skin. You don't have to, as they say, dry up just because you're a woman. So I think that's really important to women. Not just married women, but single women also. We want to be
very much so
alive and vibrant and just feel good about ourselves. But if you're aging and you're not taking care of yourself, well, they say how you took care of yourself 10, 20 years ago is how your body is going to take care of you now.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about your health and wellness center. You have some things that you can offer our listeners that can help with that aging process. And I visited your health and wellness center today and purchased a few things, and I'm just excited about it. I don't know how anybody can visit your health and wellness center in Montgomery, Alabama, and not want to come back. To come back, and it's just amazing. It's like a place of peace. It's a place to unplug, and while you're doing those things, your body is benefiting from just relaxing. So tell us about the Health and Wellness Center and what you offer to the community.
Sure. One of the things that when I built or envisioned Luxury Body Sculpting Health and Wellness Center, it was not in a vanity sense. It was actually designed for the community, and more so over to help women, say 50 and over or 40 and over, who are aging gracefully, but their lives are very busy. They have, their children are still, they're either in college or grown, and they have grandchildren, and some of them are caregivers for their parents and so forth. So what I found was that a lot of women our age do not really, and we mean women, period, we don't take care of ourselves. We don't put ourselves first because we're nurturers by nature. So we take care of everyone else, the children, the husband, the grandchildren, the mother, the father that's aging, and so forth and so forth. But we need to take time to spend with ourselves. So what I did was I did a lot of research. I brought things that I saw in LA, things that I saw in New York, things I saw in Atlanta, that they were doing, that they were light years ahead of us, here in Alabama. And I said, let me bring that home because we need those things here. So
Right.
everything in there is dealing with, I use a lot, I love technology, and not only technology, but infrared light therapy is so healing to the body. If you ever do some research on infrared light therapy, and we have a full spectrum infrared sauna there. And what that infrared sauna does, it heals the tissues, the actual damages that's been done to the body internally. So it is healing. It's the same radiation light therapy that comes from the sun minus the UV harmful rays. So you have the near, the mid, and the far infrared light therapy. The far is a very common one. You will find other saunas around infrared saunas, but they're using the far infrared, which the far detoxes the body, which is very important, because you're going to notice that the detox in these saunas are a lot different than you just walking around or sweating, or, you know, in the gym or things like that, because it's a deep sweat. It actually heats up the body from the core to the outside of the body.
You mentioned the word. We're going to come back to the wellness center, but you mentioned detox. Detox is such an important word, and we hear it all the time, but some may not know what detox means and how important it is for optimum health of the body. So take a minute and share what detox is, and what can we use? What do you offer? What do you suggest to help detox our body? And should we do it daily? Should we do it more often? And how often should we do it? Let's talk detox.
Okay. Well, detox is very important, especially in today's time. The reason being is our bodies are constantly inundated with toxins and heavy metals, from the air that we breathe to the water, taking a shower, taking a bath. You have chemicals and heavy metals coming through the water, getting into our largest pores on our skin, which is our skin is our largest organ on the body. So those entering into our body. Then we have things that we put onto our body. If you have perfumes and lotions, if you're not using natural butters and creams and things like that, those are carcinogenic, which means they're cancer causing agents. The chemicals. We have the foods that are, if you're not buying totally organic, but even some organic uses a mild pesticide. So the pesticides that our body's intaking. Then we have E. coli and all types of bacteria
and
that is coming
in. Denise,
Oh my God.
Fast food, because
Don't
we live in a world of convenience.
Fast food is the most harmful thing that you can put in your body, because everything that's fast food is chemically based. It's loaded with chemicals for preservative reasons, to keep the food so-called fresh. So every time you buy a burger, chicken nuggets, chicken sandwiches, I don't care where you're getting them from. If it's a fast food restaurant, they have chemicals. They're loaded with chemicals. And so that does damages. That's called oxidative stress to our cells. What that means is those chemicals actually cause disruption in the natural healthy cells in our bodies. And when those cells get damaged, they replicate themselves in the body and they become unstable, more cells. And then all of a sudden one day have this mass that shows up on the CAT scan when you go get a mammogram, or you go get to the doctor and they say, oh, I see a spot on your liver, I see a spot on your breast, or whatever. But those are cells that have collectively started over time, are loaded with toxins and heavy metals. And so now they're either benign or they're cancerous cells. And so when they're cancerous, they are actually living organisms that are eating your nutrition, living off of your body, and causing your body to deteriorate very, very quickly.
Now that's scary. When you think about it, you're either eating for health, for life, or death.
Exactly.
For busy women, you've been at work all day, you've got a family to go home and cook for. You may grab something, fast food restaurant, any restaurant, you don't really know what you're getting, to feed your family because you're tired, or you'll get something out of the refrigerator, which is probably, or the cabinet, which is processed food, which is also full of toxins and chemicals,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
That's the world we live in.
It
So if
is.
we're not educated on what those things do to the body, then we're diagnosed with something. We'll say, okay, well, it's genetic. So my mother had cancer. I'm going to get cancer. My father had diabetes. I'm going to get diabetes. But you can stop that cycle by the choices you make with the
Mm-hmm.
foods you eat and what you put on and in your body. So
Mm-hmm.
give some examples of some alternative foods to eat.
Okay, well, first let's debunk the myth of genetic diseases,
Okay.
because there's no such a thing. And Dr. Sabi taught me this, and Dr. Layla Africa. There's no such thing as a disease. They are just names that were given to a specific symptom or things that were going on to the body. What it is that there is an imbalance in the body from nutritional standpoint, mineral standpoint. So that is passed down from generation to generation to generation. The instability of those your mother, for instance, my mother was very when she was pregnant with me, unfortunately she had suffered a nervous breakdown. So with that being the fact, that her potassium, her minerals, potassium, magnesium, things that help to regulate the central nervous system, her minerals were very, very lacking. So therefore, I ended up with an imbalance of those
Mm-hmm.
minerals as well as a child. So
Mm-hmm.
in my life, I had to learn, as I went on in life, why, am I having these imbalances in my life, anxiety or things of that nature. And I had to learn that it's dealing with, I work with my doctors on it because I wouldn't allow them to put me on blood pressure medicine. And I always danced, I always stayed healthy and things of that nature. But my blood pressure would always stay elevated and I say elevated in the 140s, or 140s, sometimes 150s or so forth. That was not
Mm-hmm.
normal, because it's 120 over 80 is supposed to be the normal. But
Right.
because I had a natural imbalance and my body would always stress would rob me more of that. And women
Mm-hmm.
over 50 really have that problem, or women who are going through menopause, because we are sweating excessively. We have the hot flashes, all of those things. And then we, as we urinate, excuse me, but as we urinate, we urinating out potassium out of the body. And so what we have to realize that 98% of the minerals in the body that regulates the blood pressure, the heart muscle, the nervous system is in the tissues and bones. And most of it is in our gut, in the central nervous area. I
Mm-hmm.
call our first brain, which is the intestinal tract. So
Mm-hmm.
what we have to do is keep that balance. If you're not going to using the restroom, if you're eating 2 meals a day, you should be going to the restroom twice a day. If you're eating 3 meals a day, you should be going to the bathroom 3 times a day.
Not
Naturally,
urinating, but having bowel movements.
having bowel movements. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because the colon is 27 feet long and it holds waste to get that the body doesn't need, but it also holds the nutrients. It disseminates the nutrients and minerals out into the bloodstream so that it can get to the organs that need it the most. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have a clogged up, a backed up colon, then
Mm-hmm.
your body is going to be, it's called leaky gut. That's the term that they've given it now, but it's leaking out toxins and heavy metals into the bloodstream. And now those are getting into the organs of the body, and causing damages, wreaking damage. Like Dr. Sabi was saying, the pancreatic duct, people who have diabetes, it's just the insulin, the duct from the pancreas to the kidneys is blocked with mucus and
Mm-hmm.
heavy metals. So if you get that unblocked, where the pancreas can now produce the insulin it needs, then that's what happens. But acid, we are inundated with acid because a lot of the foods, especially fast foods, are very acidic, very
Mm-hmm.
acidic. A lot of the meats, all the meats are acidic. I don't care if it's fish. And then I'm not telling people to stop eating meats altogether, but what I'm saying is limit your intake to once a day. If you're going to eat meat, eat it baked and eat it, chicken, turkey, fish. I don't condone pork because the Bible told us not to eat the swine, and it's a really good reason why God said that. It's just loaded with parasites. You can't even kill the parasites in it. And I ate it as a child growing up because I didn't know any better. But as I've learned and studied, I understand, oh my God, that's where I'll spend my body. So detoxing every day is important, meaning you're pulling out those heavy metals and toxins out of the lungs, the liver, the kidneys, the black, all the organs of the body on a daily basis, because on a daily basis, those things are hitting your body. I don't care how clean you think you are eating. You're breathing air, you're breathing in toxins and heavy metals. They are so minute to the air, but we are breathing those in. We're taking those into our bodies. So we have to detox every day to keep the body flushed out and keep the cells healthy, because the key is keeping your healthy cells strong enough and armed up. And that's where nutrition comes in. So you're detoxing. Now you're putting in the good stuff. You have your digestive system working properly, because the digestion starts when you're eating. Soon as you put something in your mouth, your enzymes start to break that food down. Then it goes to your esophagus, then it goes to your stomach, and then your stomach acid breaks, tries to kill the bad bacteria. It can't kill it all, but some of it makes it on through to the intestinal tract. And then
if it doesn't make it that far, when you have a bloated abdomen, most people don't know that most of that is just waste that needs to be discharged from your body. It's just stuck there. So what would you tell someone who hasn't had a bowel movement in 2-3 days? They don't have regular bowel movements.
I'm saying you're probably setting yourself up for a serious debilitating ailment or dis-ease. Reason being because that toxic waste is sitting there in the gut, in the intestinal tract, because the food moves on out of the stomach. Now, the reason we got a lot of bloating is because the digestive system is not working properly. First of all, the gut is backed up. Some people, when they the tea that I'm drinking here, my holistic detox tea, it keeps the digestive system working functionally. Oh, you bought some today. I forgot. Okay, but it's only 5 herbs that are in there. But the great thing about this tea is that you can drink it every day, twice a day. It's really good tasting. It's this 5 basic herbs that comes from West Africa, which is very potent. So it's about the potency of the herbs. But the thing about it, it regulates the digestive process from the stomach all the way to the colon, everything, and heals you. So gets rid of acid reflux. It gets rid of the bloating. It gets rid of the gas. It gets, it keeps the bowels moving very easily. No diarrhea, no cramping, none of that harsh. Because some herbs like senna leaves and psyllium husk are more damaging. That's why you find a lot of detoxes that say don't do over 7 days or 14 days, because those are actually drinking my tea, Carolyn. All right. But actually, a lot of the herbs, like the psyllium husk and the because that's the first thing a doctors want to put you on. They say, oh my God, you're backed up, you're not having bowel movements, because especially if you're on medications, you are going to really have a slow digestive system. And so when you're on a lot of medications, or people who have been on chemotherapy, their system gets slowed down. It's just a fact of nature. But what you have to do is just keep it flowing. So with the tea, it keeps the body, eliminating, I may go to the bathroom twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, depending on what I'm eating, but it's very natural. It softens the stools naturally. You don't want to do laxatives. No. You don't want to do Metamucil. You don't want to do any of those because they are harsh. They pull potassium and important nutrients out of the colon, out of the gut, and that is 70% of your immune system. So your body needs that potassium, magnesium, calcium, zinc, all of those, vitamin C. It needs all of that to function properly. That is your central, like I said, your first brain. That's why we always say, God, I wish I'd followed my first mind, or that gut feeling, because the brain, that's where you get that first thought, and then it travels. Electromagnetic pulses go to the brain, and neurotransmitters fire off and say, oh, this is what is. But also you have to remember, with parasites, we are inundated with parasites.
Explain what parasites are, because we assume people know what these
parasites are. The parasites are basically microorganisms that are living off of your food and your, whatever you put in your body, your nutrients. So they live in your body. They have bowel movements inside of you, defecate inside of you. So all of that toxins is going inside of your colon and going out into your bloodstream and wreaking more havoc. So we have pinworms are very common here in the United States. E. coli, we hear all the time. They're doing a recall. Oh, we got this. If you bought greens, in the bag at this store, we recalling because E. coli, so we never know what we're going to take, even in buying at the grocery store, if we're going to be subjected to E. coli. So that's why the detox tea, it kills those parasites in the body as well. So it gets rid of those harmful parasites. Now you have probiotics, which are the good bacteria, which most people don't have enough of the probiotics to actually balance out the bacterial flora in the body. So the good bacteria can't fight because the bad bacteria has overtaken. That comes from overuse of antibiotics. If people have been on antibiotics, those antibiotics do not differentiate between good bacteria and bad bacteria. It just kills it all.
So Denise, where would be a good place for someone to start? Say someone is listening, they know that they're not eating right, they're not making good choices. What's a good beginning? Because listening to you, it can be a little overwhelming. It's like, okay, well, where do I start? You want them to take baby steps,
Okay.
to even begin. They may not even be consuming enough water, which is huge. So what would you tell that person that wants to begin a transformation, wants to make some changes? What baby steps can they begin with? And they're not in Montgomery. They can't come see Dr. Denise. You are available. We have her website scrolling at the bottom of the screen, naturallyorganicu.com. And there is a contact. They can contact you via your website. But what are some easy changes, some easy baby steps that one can begin with?
The baby steps that I always tell people to start with is detoxing. If you don't, like I said, I have a tea, but if you don't use my tea, if you get a tea, try not to get anything with senna leaves in it. Try to get something that has very gentle herbs that actually allows your body to remove the toxins and the waste out of your colon. So detoxing is the number one. I always tell my clients, first thing first, let's detox. Second thing, let's look at your food intake. Let's try to eat more plant-based. You're not ready to go totally without meat. Your family's not ready to go without meat. So try to limit your meat intake. Let's say, okay, family, we're going to do meat once a day. What meal do we going to do? Dinner, breakfast, whatever. You choose that meal. The reason being because the meats that we're intaking today are so loaded with antibiotics and steroids that it's just overwhelming to the body and to the system. So limit your meat intake to once a day, and do three-fourths of your plate should be with vegetables. So three-fourths of your plate should be vegetables, whether you do salad and some spinach or kale or broccoli or green beans or something like that, or peas. Try not to mix your starches with your meats. Reason being, it causes excessive bloating. It doesn't digest very well in the body. It takes longer to break down starches and meats at the same time. So that's not a good combination for the body. So just be careful and mindful of that. So incorporate more vegetables, colorful, rainbow fruits and vegetables. So just look for color, especially your greens, incorporating that into your lifestyle. I break my fast every morning with coconut water, and I put a little lime juice in it. You know what they say, put the lime in the coconut and drink it out. Put the lime in the coconut. Well, it's a real thing, because in the islands, that is all they drink. It's coconut water. They'll get a fresh coconut and they open it up and they drink. They put lime juice in it and they drink that. It's loaded with potassium and magnesium, calcium, all of the good electrolytes to keep your cells and your electrical system firing off and working properly, your heart muscles working, your blood pressure under control. Coconut water. I don't sell it.
What about lemon water? What about water with lemon in it?
Lemon, a lot of people do that. Lemon is acidic, but they say once it enters in the body, it turns alkaline. I like the lime. I prefer it because the lime is just alkaline, and I know it's alkaline. So I use lime, but if some
color,
color.
My mother always says her plates are just colorful.
Yes,
the red, the green, the yellow.
Yes,
she always says, make sure your plate is colorful.
Be creative. God is the master creator. You look at all of the vegetables and fruits, anything that's not colorless, that's white, to put in our body, it's not right, because it's been bleached. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying it's been bleached or chemically processed to remove the color.
What I think about, Denise, is how you see when people post their food, their plates on Facebook, and all you see is like white and gray and brown.
I know, it's like,
and the comments are like, oh, looks delicious, yum, yum. Where's the green?
And growing, I know, right? Where are the greens? Where are the colors for the rainbow? And so, it's like, I tell people all the time, try to, when one of the biggest myths is cooking with olive oil. Olive oil changes its whole chemical compound when it's heated at high heat. So it's not a good, and they even market it now for olive oil with high heat. That is not strictly just olive oil. That is some type of vegetable oil added to the olive oil. So you have to be very careful about that, because real olive oil is usually, I use it for a drizzle on my vegetables after I cook, or on my salads. But olive oil is very, very healing for the body. Olive oil is very good for the body, but you should not be cooking with olive oil. You should be using grapeseed oil, avocado oil, sesame seed oil. There are some other types of oils out there that are very good but those are three of the main ones that I use: is avocado, grapeseed, and sesame seed oil. And those are made for high heat cooking. They do not change the chemical compound. They do not become carcinogenic. Again, carcinogenic means cancer causing agents. So when you high heat cook it, olive oil, and you do high heat, you're actually turning it into a chemical compound that can cause cancer in your body. Okay, cause damages, free radical damage to your cells.
You have given a lot of information. You've had the training, the schooling, you've met Dr. Seeley. So your books, I don't know where you found time to write books, but you've also written plays and what else? My goodness. But I want to share your this book here, The Detoxification Alkalinity. That's the most important thing. And they can purchase your book online, correct?
Yes.
They can go to your website that is scrolling on the bottom, or they can go to your the Health and Wellness Center, correct? And
Yes,
you
ma'am.
also have the slave food, which is another
Yeah,
good book.
that's my favorite book right there because
Why is this your favorite book? Why
well,
is slave
because
food your favorite?
I grew up on slave food. You know, as a child, you know, my mother. I talk about it in the beginning of my book. Those wonderful Sunday dinners, you know, filled with 3 or 4 different types of meat choices, and you know, vegetables that were cooked to death, so had no, but they taste so good. Oh my
Yes.
God, you know, they were just so delicious to the palate. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, the fried corn with the meal and the butter and you know, the whole 9 yards. You know, I grew up on those foods, you know, and it's just been passed down from generation to generation, soul food. And I just kind of twisted it and called it what it was, slave food, because
Mm-hmm.
our ancestors were given the scraps of, you know, what the slave owners did not want, so we had to work with what we had to stay alive. So we, you know, we used the pig feet, we used the tongue, we used all the parts of the pig that we could, and chitlins and the intestines and all that. And, oh my God, we're eating
Which are some of
parasites.
them are delicacies now,
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
and that is like, so you know, we cooked with lard, you know, and but actually, lard is healthier, honestly, than vegetable oil,
Oh
because
my
vegetable oil
goodness.
clogs up your arteries more, you know. But they got away from the mainstream, started cooking with vegetable oil, so like that's why McDonald's fries and all these other places, you know, these different restaurants, you know, they're vegetable, they cook with vegetable oil, but vegetable oil is very damaging to the body, to the
So what
cholesterol.
what would you tell someone who grew up on that food? They say, "Oh well, my mother and grandmother ate pig's feet and this and that and oxtails and this and that, and they lived to be 90 something years old. You know, why we can't eat that? It's on the earth." What would you tell someone? Because I know you've heard it before. They
Yeah, I
still
hear.
make them. They eat that stuff.
Well, our parents did not, our grandparents did not have the foods that they had. They grew them in the garden, or it was around in their neighborhood. You know, the neighborhood gardens, or the food was fresher. It wasn't just transported, you know, from a faraway land from China and brought over here to the United States. It wasn't GMO. It was natural, you know, foods that were, I mean, GMO has been around for a long time. Don't get me wrong. Genetically modified foods have been around for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but the foods are just getting now more mass produced. But it's the toxins, the
Mm-hmm.
pesticides, because they're now trying to mass produce more foods faster. I mean, I was looking in Whole Foods when I was in the day. I was like, where they had all these beautiful grapes, seedless, green, red, black grapes. I'm like, where are the seed ones? When I grew up, I used to have grapes and I had to spit out the seeds. You
Right.
know,
Right.
where I can't find those anymore. We can't find the seeded grapes, just like watermelons. It's hard to find watermelon unless you know somebody is a
Right.
farmer that grows the watermelons, and I look for those black seeds like I
Right.
had when I was a little girl. There, God did not make a seedless fruit. God said in Genesis 1:29, I have put every seed bearing plant and tree in the garden for food for your body.
Mm-hmm.
Every seed bearing plant and tree in the garden for your body. Okay, food for your body.
Right.
So if you know, I'm like, where are the seeds? You know, how are these foods growing if they're not growing without seeds? So they're growing them, you know, in different environments that are causing them to grow faster. You know, and
Right.
they're using
Right.
chemicals and things of that nature to grow the foods faster, to get them out there to us. So it's just and it's just causing our body more damage. So it means that some of those foods, those natural foods, are missing the nutrients, some of the
Yeah.
vital nutrients that our grandparents and great grandparents got in their foods. And then
Right.
they were not inundated with all of the pollution,
Right.
you know,
Right.
that's going on in the air right now. They weren't eating meats that were injected with steroids and
Yeah.
antibiotics, you know,
Yeah.
just to keep that meat fresh, you know. And
Yeah.
you got to think about it. I tell people all the time, if you think you have to eat meat to get protein, where does a chicken get their protein from? Where does
That's
a
one way
chicken?
to look at it. Where does a chicken
Where,
get their
where does a chicken
You're
get
right.
their protein from?
You're right.
Okay, where? Let's go. A cow. Where does a cow get their protein from? Does it eat another animal?
No.
No, it eats grass. Okay, a chicken eats grain. Let's look at the ape. Ape is the strongest, one of the strongest animals in the kingdom, in the wild kingdom. And what does it eat? Does it eat another animal? No.
You know,
It kills, attacks animals, but it eats berries and leaves.
right,
A giraffe,
right,
elephant.
right,
Let's go on and
right.
on. Now
We're
there's certain
conditioned. We're just conditioned that we gotta have a plate with some meat on it, with some
they taught us
noodles.
that. Yeah, they taught us that protein, meat, protein. But why do we need to go through a third party source to get our protein when it's right there in the plants?
In the
It's
plant.
in the
Most people
green.
don't know that, though, Denise. So that's where the education and knowledge, which is why I invited you on. Most people don't know what you're saying. The comment there, that's my mother tuning in. She says, I'm dead. She's listening to you talk about the vegetable oil and all of that, what they used to eat. My parents are in their 80s. They walk every day.
Yeah.
But they ate all of that stuff. Now, she does try to cook better because my father's a diabetic. He's not on medication, but she does try to do better. But you've mentioned vegetable oil. Most people use vegetable oil to cook with. So that's why I was saying to have the knowledge out there, because if you know better, you may do better. We should do better. So the information that you're giving, some people are hearing it for the first time. That's why I said, explain what detox is. Let them know what parasite is, because we could be talking over some people's head because we've been raised to eat these things. We don't know any better.
And I love our people. I love God's children, and I just, God is calling us back to the Garden of Eden. He's calling us back, all of us, and I'm not fussing at people. I'm passionate because I want to help save lives. And in order for us to get through all of the things that we're dealing with in this world that's coming at us, our body is every day is taking in so many different types of bacteria, not to mention not talk about, the C one, but it's taking in so much. But if we keep our bodies healthy, we can actually reverse, what they call generational diseases. I don't say disease. It's a dis-ease in the body. It's just the body doesn't have enough of something. Is telling you, listen to your body. It's telling you, I need something. When you're thirsty, when you want some water, you got to have water. No, don't go get a Sprite. Don't go get a Coke. Don't get something with sugar in it. No, sugar is not your friend. It is not. It feeds the parasites. It feeds cancer in the body. So if you want to live we're at the age now, I'm 57. I want to be here when I'm 97, and still moving around, still talking, still dancing, still teaching, educating, and helping people. I don't want my kids having to change my Depends. I don't want
your grandchildren.
I don't want my
grandchildren.
I don't want my daily outing to be going to, what doctor am I going to see today? I don't want that. I want my children to live a full life. I'm in my 50s. I want them to have a full life in their 50s and not have to worry about, I got to go change mom. I got to give mama a bath. I got to do, mama not move. The reason you can't move is because you're not using your limbs. Move your body. We were made to be in motion. To move. Our bodies were designed. So get out and walk, people. Walking is one of the best exercises you can do. And I dance. I have a video, YouTube and Facebook, that's called Dancing to Fitness. So you can just do some of those two little dance. Get with your husband, get with your spouse, put some music on and just move, just dance. And
Mm.
the thing about music and dancing, it raises your estrogen, your, your dopamine, your oxytocin, all those feel good healing hormones in the body to help your
Yeah.
body to heal.
You
So
mentioned endorphins. So that's
endorphin,
good for moods, especially
yeah,
older women in menopause. You got the mood swings, and I don't know what's wrong with me, and I don't feel good. Move something. That helps a lot. To
yeah.
just
Put on some
move.
put on some good
Yeah.
old blues, whatever your favorite music is, blues, country, rock, R&B, whatever. Put it on and just listen and just move. Just
Yeah.
move, because it raises the whole vibration of your cells, and it promotes healing in the body. It does
Mhm.
promote healing. So, if you want to be able to get out of bed without, going, oh God, my back, oh, I can't get up, oh God, oh Lord, I can't, stretch, stretch,
Stretch.
stretch, do
Yeah.
stretches, arm stretch, stretch the body, even if you're in pain right now, but stretch it, move it, because that's what is basically apathy is setting in to the body. Those muscles are saying, you're not using me, so we're just going to restrict. We're going to cramp
Mhm.
up. And so now you like, oh my God, I can't move my shoulder. I can't do this. Oh my Lord, my hip, oh, this and that, Well, you just got to
Yeah.
move. And
Don't
we
stop
become
moving.
so sedate, a sedentary lifestyle, that when we get off work, we come home, we sit down, we eat, we watch TV, whatever we're going to do. And we need to move, get up and walk, dance, do something. You don't have to go
Denise,
out to a gym.
what would you tell the older folks who sit because of aches? They feel like it might be too late now.
It's
Okay,
never too
I
late.
already have these aches and pains. I can't get up and move.
It's never too late. I have known women, honestly, in their 50s, late 50s, 60s, that became bodybuilders,
Mm-hmm.
late in life,
Mm-hmm.
but it is never too late. The thing is, you just have to get up and just do some type of movement. And I'm not talking about going to clean up the kitchen. I'm not talking about sweeping. I'm talking about
Something
see,
to get the heart rate going,
yeah, you
huh?
got to get the heart rate going, because people say, well, I walk
Yeah.
around my office all day long. I'm walking. But no, that's not that's not what's called aerobic. Aerobic means that the heart rate is moving, means the blood is circulating. The blood is pumping from the heart and pumping down to the feet and back up to the heart, circulating. And that means that the toxins are starting to move out of the system. Lymphatic system is not getting clogged up, so that your body can fight off infections and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to do some type of aerobic, something that's constant movement. So I always tell people 30 to 40 minutes of walking or movement, of dancing or something,
Or
right
even
at home.
in place. You can walk in place
Walk
while
in
you're watching
place. Yeah.
TV.
It's
That's huge.
it's
That's
easy to
huge.
do, just standing there, put some music on and just walk. Just sit there,
Yeah.
just walk.
Yeah.
And if you want to add some weights to it, you can, some little dumbbells or whatever, but just move, just move. So it's not a rocket science, people. It
Right.
really isn't.
Right. It's
It's
a
it's
decision.
it's a
It's a choice.
mindset.
It
It's
begins in the mind. Just
yeah.
making a decision, making a choice to do better. Now, it's already 5 till, okay, but let's talk about your health and wellness center and how it is open to the public and
Mhm.
the hours. Share a little bit about your health and wellness center.
Okay, well, the Health and Wellness Center is free to the public, Tuesdays through Fridays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You do have to make an appointment online at luxurybodysculpting.com to come in, because we only allow 3 people in the center at one time. We have a zero gravity massage chair, 3 of them in there, that actually gives you a customized massage like none other that you could ever experience in your life. It literally takes you to the stars, to the heavens and back. And then we have the infrared sauna. Like I said, you burn 600 calories just sitting in there for 30 to
Mhm.
45 minutes. That is the most passive cardio workout you could ever experience in your life. just to sit there and you're burning calories, and it helps reduce blood pressure. I had a lady that used that 3 times a week, and she did a lot of research. She was a retired, well, not retired, but she had to leave nursing because she had a brain tumor, cancer. And she found my center because I was the only one that had the full spectrum infrared sauna. 6 months after using it 3 times a week, sometimes 4, because she would come with her husband on the weekends. And she went to the doctor and they couldn't find the tumor anymore. So it literally shrinks cancer cells. I mean, it is powerful. And then we have the whole body vibration unit that is great for senior citizens. Like I said, it's good for people who don't want to do a whole lot of movement, but they need the movement, the circulation. It builds the lymphatic system, gets the circulation going. It gives you an hour workout in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. All you do is stand there and the machine works out for you. So
okay, I'm going to, because you have sponsorships where you can have access to the Health and Wellness Center 24 hours. So what is it? You have what, 35, 45, or 55?
Yes, ma'am.
Dollars a month. And you have access to your Health and Wellness Center.
Yes.
I'm going to become a sponsor. I have to. I've been there a couple of times. I just have to. So when I walked in, I'm like, this would be perfect. And you mentioned for senior citizens, I would love to be able to take my parents there, especially the massage chair, and where you can just stand there and the machine does it for you, or the sauna. And it's quiet, it's small, it's intimate, it's quaint. The lighting makes you just want to go to sleep in it. So it is Montgomery's best kept secret. So I see why people don't talk about it. They don't want anybody else to know about it because we can keep it all to ourselves.
Right.
Yes. So please go to www.naturallyorganicu.com. Now, do you have information about your Health and Wellness Center on your site?
It might be a link on there. If not, I'll make sure that they put a link on there for the luxury body sculpting for the Health and Wellness Center. Okay. But I think there might be a link on there already for it. But yeah, so we'll make sure that it's on there so people can click and go from there to there. They won't have to be all around the world. But we use the chromotherapy, light therapy. It's very important for healing, chromotherapy. And then we use 432 hertz frequency, which is the same frequency that the earth vibrates on. So when you're in there, you're listening to this beautiful, celestial music, but in the background, there is a 432 hertz frequency that's healing your cells, and you don't even know it, but it's actually putting you back in balance with the earth's frequency. So now your body, and that's why you relax. People come in there and they go to sleep. Literally in the zero gravity massage chairs, and because it's a place to come and detox and de-stress, but also where you can work out at the same time, get a passive workout, cardio workout. But main thing I need for someone to come and have a safe place that they can come and just relax, get away, you unplug. Don't bring your cell phones in there. If you do, put them on vibrate. And if you need to talk, step out into the reception area. But we do not allow phone conversations back in the wellness center because, like I said, it's a place where we just need for you to detox from life, and just let your body heal itself. So it's there for you. It's free to the community. Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you want to become a sponsor, it helps to keep our doors open. Yes. They have the gold membership, gold membership, platinum, silver, platinum memberships, and it's just different levels. And you can read about that on the website as well. But we're looking for sponsors, and to help out and just keep the doors open because I built that just for the community. It's
just for the community.
Just for the community.
You've done your part. Now we need to do our part just to show gratitude for the information that you give, the products that you share, and you've made your Health and Wellness Center free to the public. If you all don't do anything else, at least go by there. Share the address, Denise. At least go by there and look at it. Once you enter it, you will be back. You will be back. It's just the most, it's the best place to go and unplug and let your mind, your body, and your spirit be just rejuvenated, renewed, and like you said, to detox. So, sponsorship, $35 a month, $45 a month, or $55 a month. There are different benefits for it. I definitely plan on becoming a sponsor real soon. I want to take my parents there. I want my sisters to enjoy it. I just
Praise
want to
God.
share the Wellness Center and tell someone else about it. I mean, this is a young woman that is trying to give health and wellness to the community, and she's offered it free to the
Mhm.
public. So take
Yeah,
advantage of it. I
yeah,
don't want to,
please
well,
do.
I have to say it. You'd be a
Please.
fool not to take advantage of
Yeah,
it.
don't
You
let
know?
us close it down because you're not using it. The communities I spent,
Right.
we've been here for going on 4 years. Take it, we had a year shut down for COVID, but for going on like 4 years now, and we have
Mhm.
some good members. We have some wonderful Carolyn's on here now on the call. She's one of my members. She drives all the way from Birmingham to come
Wow.
down to you, and she's a sponsor, and she
Mhm.
comes and she's been with me for almost since day one. But she is amazing, and I have other amazing. I have people that come from Atlanta. I have people that have come in from New York, people that come in from Washington DC. I
They
mean,
know the worth. They
yes,
know the worth of
yes,
it and the
yes.
benefits of it.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have
that
one
is
lady that it
important.
doesn't even, she just comes here and does work with some people from Washington, and she joined as a sponsor. So when she's here, she has a place to come and just de-stress and to unplug, you
In
know.
case somebody's wondering, with COVID going on, how do you all maintain the being sanitary and the
Mhm.
precautions for COVID? How do you
Well,
do
we
that?
have a sanitation station. As soon as you come in, we train everybody how to sanitize themselves, especially our sponsors, because they come in at different times when we're not there. So we have a sanitation station. We have a foot area where you put your shoes in. We have hospital booties that you put on your feet. So we're not tracking in viruses from out the street into the wellness center. Plus, we have the UV lights, um, bacteria system going throughout the whole center that's constantly killing any airborne bacteria in the air while you're in there. Then we have a COVID sanitation every Sunday. The cleaners that come in and clean the center from top to bottom. Just deep sanitation. But then our actual person that works there during the day, she's constantly wiping. And then we train our members also, and our members are wonderful in doing it. And we have cameras all over the facility, and I remember I watch them sometimes, and I say, God, they're cleaning up the center for me, because they're just wiping stuff
That's
down and everything.
gratitude. That's
But
gratitude,
but
taking
they are
care
just
of it.
wonderful. I mean, we have the most wonderful sponsors, and people really appreciate it, and they're utilizing it to the max. So I'm drinking my detox tea too. So. Mhm.
Okay, it is after 8. We're going to have you back. We've already talked about it. There's too much information to give in an hour. Even if we come back and share for 10, 15 minutes, have you share. Just continue giving
No
tidbits of
problem.
information out there on a periodic basis. So I'm going to give you closing words. Thank you again for sharing your time, your knowledge with the Other Woman magazine. And I just appreciate you, and you all look for Dr. Denise in the Other Woman magazine future issues. It is published 3 times a year, so she will be joining with her knowledge and sharing some articles with us. And I just want to get, yay, the Other Woman.
This is a great magazine. My closing remarks are going to be, you guys support the Other Woman magazine. Go on Facebook, like the page, get the magazine. It has some really wonderful articles in here about just, being a woman, and how, we can just, find our power,
Mhm.
and truly be, you know, unapologetically the woman,
Or
because every
organically,
woman
your
inside
word.
of them has
Yes,
another woman, and
yes.
that's what it's all about. The other woman, when you see that, it's like we all have a face that we put on in
Mhm.
public or something. But then there's this other woman that lives inside of us that wants to come out and is screaming to be heard and be, whether it's your creativity, whether it's, you know, you want to do something, you had a dream when you were a child that you really want to do something. Find that person, that other woman is living inside of you. So this magazine, these articles will help to bring that out in you and will inspire you, you know. So I thank you, Lavinda, for really publishing this magazine. I really do. And I'm just, this artwork is amazing. I just love visual arts. I can't do
Deborah Shedrick, yes, she collaborated on that. Yeah.
phenomenal job. And then I have the main one, the first one that came out, you know,
Mhm.
and then it has a back when you can actually enter, be on the back cover, you know, if you like the page and you share the page, you know, that you can get a feature. So if you're an artist or a book writer or insurance or anything like that, you can take out ads. But this is so powerful. So I just want to let people know, you know, I
Thank you,
support
Denise.
the vendor 300%. And we
Thank
have to
you.
do that for, you know, other, you know, I call them my sister queens, you
Yes,
know,
yes,
and,
supporting
and
each other,
yeah.
uplifting each other.
Mhm,
Exactly,
mhm.
exactly. So thank you for your closing words, and you will be back. You will be back. I'm excited about our connection and the networking, and I want to help bring people to the Health and Wellness
Thank
Center
you.
because I believe in it and it is much needed. So I thank
Thank
you for being Dr. Denise, and we have heard Dr. Duke speak. And I thank you for the listeners. Thank you, Miss Carolyn Black, and for your comments. Selena, thank you, teacher. We see you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And Dr. Denise will be back with the other woman soon. Thank you all, and have a
Love
good
you
evening.
guys.
Love you guys.